Well, there's a huge agenda today on that EU-China summit. It's the 21st time a summit in this format takes place, but it's the first time the counterparts sit down face-to-face since the EU has labelled China a competitor or a rival. So you can imagine the tone. Well, it could be pretty frank. There's a long array of topics on the table, from climate change to Syria, Ukraine, Russia, and of course trade, which will be the elephant in the room. And it's the topic that my guest here, Lynn Guthels from the European Institute for Asian Studies, has been following for a number of times. You even teach, I believe, EU-China relations. So I can safely say that you are an expert, and we're delighted to have you this morning on Good Morning Europe. So firstly, the expectations are low. I believe that last night officials were thinking there might not even be a declaration ready in time because China were not playing ball. We seem to be moving closer towards the fact that there could be a declaration. What's your take?
Well, all eyes will be on whether there will be a declaration or not, a joint statement, as many of the member states have actually showed themselves prepared not to sign it if China does not meet their own expectations and their own demands.
Well, beyond the paperwork, because paperwork is just paperwork, isn't it? It can mean absolutely nothing because it's all about action, and that's what the EU wants China to endeavour in, is action, because seemingly it hasn't made good on the promises it made last July when they met in Beijing. Can you remind us, Lynn, what were those promises and why are they not making good on them?
Well, the EU is definitely asking for a bigger level playing field in China, openness of its market access and reciprocity. And besides that, there's also have been a lot of frustrations building up over the past few years on agreements that have been signed, shows of moving forward that have not actually taken place in practice.
And another point as well to make is the EU is quite frankly not united when it comes to a stance on China. We saw just a couple of weeks ago Italy roll out the red carpet for Xi and provide a performance with Andrea Bocelli and sign off on his own memorandum of understanding when it comes to the Belt and Road Initiative, something that wasn't really looked well upon by other member states.
Well, if you look at what happened afterwards in France, you had Jean-Claude Juncker, Macron and Angela Merkel meeting together with Xi Jinping after that, showing at least a bit of unity among the EU member states. So today all eyes will also be on whether Europe can actually show that unity or not.
A topic that they're always trying to struggle to do. And just briefly, Lynn, when it comes to human rights, that's another issue, of course, that will be on the table. And press freedom, we don't even know if there will officially be a press conference.
The question is all going to be on whether there is going to be a joint statement or not. And depending on that, we'll see whether there will be a press conference or not.
Well, we just have to wait and see, won't we, Lynn? Well, thank you so much for giving us your analysis to us here on Euronews. But for the moment, back to you, Belle, in the studio.
Meabh.